This is There Goes My Money.
All right, everyone. Welcome to another There Goes My Money, episode number 42, recorded on August 12th, 2018. And today we have Chris. Say hi, Chris.
No.
Don. Say hi, Don.
Hi, Don.
And our executive producer, Jason.
I'm going to beat you to it. Hi, Jason. Wait.
Thank you. And let's go ahead and get right into the items this week to devastate your wallet.
Ooh.
First one, we have Toy World EW-C07E. They have a lot of numbers in these. Orange Constructor, full set of 6 figures. This is G2 Orange Devastator, and he's a big bot. And if you go to tfsource.com, you can actually pre-order him for 50% off. Does that count when it's just coming out? That it's 50%? I guess it's 50% off the original colored price.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Still might be a little bit cheating.
Yeah.
But it's $2.99, and I noticed other retailers have it, but typically $100 more. So this TF Source is $100 cheaper than anywhere else. If you want to order it, I think it looks pretty good. I've been waiting for an Orange Devastator for a while.
And it's just sort of weird. This is the first Orange Devastator other than, a KO or a version of Hulky or something along those lines. But this is the first Orange Devastator put out by a third party. And it's just amazing it took this long to get there. I mean, heck, when Hercules came out, we had Giant, and Giant had a yellow version that was a little bit more limited, but that was, 5 years ago at this point when Hercules came out?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I broke down and got the yellow version of this because I figured no one was going to ever do an orange because it's been so long and no one took a stab at it. And then I think a month later this was announced. So You're welcome.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah. Now, Diecast, you have this one and you have the Generation Toys, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I really haven't been paying much attention because I have Hercules, I have Green Giant, I have Yellow Giant, and I have Combiner Wars Devastator. So I have enough Devastator in my life. But between Toy World and Generation Toys, because I think Generation Toys has solicited a yellow one, I think, or they're doing the clear orange one.
No,
Toy
World's
so.
also doing the clear orange.
Which one between Toy World and Generation Toys? Which of the two do you think someone like me should consider hedging their bets on for a G2 Devastator?
Generation Toy is more, I guess, more of a fun toy. This is the best Devastator, though. The Toy World one, I feel, is the best Devastator. It's very tab-tastic, and it takes a while to get him put into his Devastator mode, but he's very solid. Once you complete the transformation on it and get him in that mode, it's very solid. It's a great figure. It's not one of those figures I would take down and mess around with and transform through the modes.
So you're saying it's not a good toy?
Not a good toy. It's a great
display.
That's fairly
display
damning,
piece.
then.
Yeah.
And great articulation, great, holds poses very well. I mean, for what I like, I really like it.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Diecast. Just again, for the people who have not kept up with this like me, you're also getting the TaoBao slight upscales of Generation Toy, I believe.
Yes.
And I think you said we've talked about this before because I was kind of waiting for a G2 color version of those to come out because they're cheaper and they are of a very good quality. Do you think that's worth waiting for to get the TaoBao revamps?
See, I don't know if they're going to do them in an orange. I mean,
or yellow,
I would say if you want orange, the price is good. Jump on this now. Is basically what I would do.
Right. Okay.
Unless you want to, switch between robot mode and combined mode often, then you might want to skip this one. But
no,
if you just want a really good Devastator, I would get this.
Cool.
Yeah, it breaks down to like $50 a figure, so that's good.
Yeah. And then, so is anyone else going to get this?
I would need to see like non-stock photos to see what the orange looks like more before I would decide. Because the specific orange of an Orange Devastator is a very important factor.
Well, it's
there's one orange that's correct and all the other ones aren't.
Well, I was talking to Chris pre-show, and I asked him because I believe he said in the past, orange is a very difficult color to film and to photograph. That's why I kind of want to see in hand actual products to see how the color takes to the plastic to make sure it's the right kind of orange.
Yeah, I mean, safety orange is never going to photograph accurately because that's a color that does not exist in any digital color space. It's impossible to reproduce that completely in digital colors. But at the same time, there's no guarantee because of that they're going to get the right orange, conveyed to their factory to get the color right in the first place. So, if that's something that's really important to you, you're going to need to wait and see actual in-hand photos, talk to people who've bought it, who are familiar with what that color is supposed to look like, and find out that way how close they got. It's not. I wouldn't buy this sight unseen. Effectively, I would need some in-hand verification before I would make a call.
Probably the best thing to do would be find a friend that has a Polaroid, have them take a Polaroid of it, have them send you the Polaroid, and then use that to go by.
I hate to admit it, but that's probably your best bet.
Yeah, if you can find someone with a Polaroid.
Well, I mean, they started making the instant film again. Someone did.
Yeah, true.
Hey, kids, if you don't know what a Polaroid is, go check with your parents.
Yep.
And then next up on the list, we have Transformers Power of the Primes, PP-43, Throne of the Primes, Optimus Primal.
See, that's an interesting thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nobody has it or anything, right?
No. No one has it. No one has it.
I wasn't prepared, or else I would reach, into my bag and pull that out. But alas,
that all depends on how tomorrow goes. Nothing's happening tomorrow. Everybody stay off the internet. Nothing is happening on Monday.
Trust me, no one will hear this tomorrow, Don. You are perfectly safe.
Well, in that case, so how did everybody's Hasbro Toy Shop shopping go for SDCC Monday?
Yeah, yes. It was Matty Collector terrific. I'm going to just go ahead and put that out there now because I was there for Nemesis Prime. It probably will be like that.
I mean, it's been some years since it was quite that bad, but yes, it can still be challenging.
Yes.
And this is the one I like to call the Game of Thrones Prime.
He has a throne.
And he has a scepter.
And he has
and he has the Wheel of Fortune.
He can take your face and put it on his scepter. But I think it's very important to mention that this is the only way to complete your 13 primes.
Other than buying Predaking.
Well, no, you need to also buy Predaking.
Yeah.
If you don't buy Predaking and this, you won't have the complete set. However, since neither of those involve more Pretender shells, I don't think you're going to find a ton of people that actually care.
I
Possibly
care.
Yeah. Well, Diecast,
I didn't say no one would care. I just said there's a lot of people who wouldn't.
Well, I really wish they would have done Pretender shells.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But
even recolors of some of them are redone.
That's fine. No, but I am glad this is apparently going to be a Takara release because you've still got people in Japan, collectors in Japan, trying to complete Arms Microns. You've got people still trying to find mini cons that were
What are mini
exclusives.
cons, Don?
So, at least this way they'll be able to get, because I mean, we've all seen how much people love collecting these smaller figures. Mini cons, arms microns are still popular. Trying
Are
to
they
find
like
some of
Lego
those.
minifigures?
So I'm glad it's coming out. I have this myself on pre-order just in case tomorrow and subsequent Dononomics fail to net me a Prime, because this looks a lot better to me than Optimal Optimus. I'm sorry, it's just I'd rather have the Beast Wars Optimal Optimus and get this for that mold anyway.
I don't necessarily disagree with you on that, Don, but for what is it on Hasbro Toy Shop? $80, I think. For like $20 or $30 more, I'll just go with the regular Optimal and enjoy the colors.
I believe the Hasbro Toy Shop one is actually $70.
$70, okay. So yeah, it's it's a $20 upcharge for this over that. Yeah, I'll just go with regular Optimal.
Yeah. But
is there one Prime that is considered 13th Prime? Because they actually have it listed as box contents 13th Prime figure.
Yeah, so in the packaging it is just the 13th.
Okay, so Predaking doesn't come with the 13th Prime. It comes with one of the Primes.
Yeah.
This actually
comes with the 13th.
The 13th.
Well,
and also three others.
Yeah. Which
I
is
am
Nexus, Alchemist,
and Prima.
Yeah, Prima.
Well, I am just dismayed that the 13th is not Mike Saunders. I'm sorry. That's just,
Well, I mean, we don't know at what point in the timeline this takes place, so it could only be on like Mike Saunders the 7th or something, you know. Or it could be much later, and it's Mike Saunders the 18th.
We'll find out one day.
I wonder though if Chris Triplett is interested in this because it has Prime the 13th.
Oh.
If someone doesn't do maybe a hockey mask for this, just for Triplet, like a Shapeways hockey mask that he can, like a tight, just like a hockey mask. That way he can be
I wonder if Trent Troop ever did a hockey mask add-on for a Titan Master on the Shapeways store.
I don't remember seeing one, but I haven't checked in a while either, so he could have.
It's also possible maybe someone did one for a Casey Jones figure that may fit.
Diecast, did you open your Throne of the Primes yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Because on mine, the some of the joint tolerances, I was talking about this on RFC last, some of the joint tolerances aren't great. I was wondering if you had the same experience. But of course, I mean, you had one job, which is to be prepared to talk about these toys, and here we are.
I had to review the Bumblebee and the tapes first because I had to send that to Brian. So I actually got that in the mail to him today, so he should have it before RFC on Wednesday. But Game of Thrones Prime is next, and I would definitely be pre-ordering this or trying to order this on Hasbro Toy Shop or pre-ordering the Takara version if I didn't have this in my hands right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that the Takara Tomy release is going to be an option, so that there's less pressure to stalk Hasbro Toy Shop tomorrow, as of the time we're recording this, to try to get in on this. The Bumblebee set, you're still kind of on the hook for because nobody's releasing an alternate version of that. But with the Entertainment Earth Volume 2, you can still get the tape molds, albeit in alternate colors. But I'm kind of glad the way this worked out. Mold-wise, you're not out of luck on anything, really, this convention exclusive cycle. That actually makes me really happy with how the whole thing's being handled. Yeah. I kind of hate that you do have to get Volume 1 and Volume 2 to actually get a properly colored combined Dino cassette.
Yes.
Because, the one is in the right colors in Volume 1, and then the other one's in the right colors in Volume 2. So, you'll have one correct color, then one that's in clear plastics.
Yeah, I actually didn't realize that they were both going to be the same exact cassettes, just different colors.
Yeah, we were really hoping that Volume 2 was going to be the other pair of combining Dino cassettes, which are just as rare and expensive and sought after by collectors. I still hope for a Takara Tomy Encore release that is all 4 of them. But, for right now, I mean, getting 2 of them is still quite an accomplishment. Even if you have to still pay $120, $130 for the privilege. Also, we were talking about this in pre-show. It's worth pointing out again, though. There does seem to be an assembly error with whichever one this is, the one that makes the legs, where the toe pieces are assembled on the wrong sides. So you can't actually use them. So I'm kind of sticking with the alternate transformation of using the dinosaur head and tail as feet so it can actually support its own weight.
Yeah. Jason, are you trying to get any of these tapes?
Strangely enough, no. Like, I don't have the attachment to them that everyone else seems to. Because I didn't really have, as much as I liked and wanted Soundwave or Blaster when I was young, I never had them. So there's never a reason to get any of the tapes, even though I did have tapes. But no, I don't have the connection that a lot of people do. I understand the value of this compared to how much the G1 versions go for. But yeah, both of these exclusives have kind of passed me over this year.
So in 2006, when Classics was out, Toys R Us got as an exclusive a really nice Soundwave reissue in classic style packaging, which was Soundwave with the double door remold, because it was the Sound Blaster mold they were working from. And it came with Ravage and Laserbeak. Well, I think it came with 4 cassettes. I know there was Ravage and Laserbeak there for sure. I can't remember what the other ones were, if there were, because it wasn't the humanoid cassettes. Maybe it only did come with the 2. They might only come with the 2, but yeah. But it was like $40 or $40 or $50, and it was a really good deal for that reissue.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, that's the only reason I have a G1 Soundwave, basically, because I was able to get that at that time when I had more disposable income to draw on, and just like, oh sure, what the heck?
Yeah,
I got this classic stuff, and Soundwave's a good mold. I knew that from hearing people talk about it for years. So that was kind of fun. So I can put at least one of these in, since they're split between Autobot and Decepticon for this version.
Right.
I think the clear plastic one is the Decepticon version. Rubstein. Yep.
I don't know why, but seeing Rubsteins come back makes me happy. It's a small thing, but I love it.
But yeah, next up on the list is Transformers Masterpiece MP20 Plus Wheeljack Animation Colors version, the very boring car version.
Yeah. I mean, like, I can appreciate that this exists for people who want a certain aesthetic in their collection. That would never be me, especially for this one.
Oh, you're buying it for robot mode, because if you're going to tell me you're going to display this in vehicle mode, you're a liar.
The thing is, though, like, I prefer the way the original MP20 looks in robot mode, too.
I just don't. I don't think I have any character that I have that much of a connection to that I would go back and drop another $80 for. It's just for a different color. I mean, like like if they do Trailbreaker and then they do a Diaclone Trailbreaker, something along those lines, yeah. But it's Wheeljack, and I just can't see the value in getting a second of the same mold in slightly different colors when there's going to be stuff coming out that, like Hound, that's brand new and probably around the same price that we don't have. And
I mean, like, the Animation Colors Prowl, which I think is supposed to come out next month or maybe the month after that. Like, it's fairly soon at this point. That doesn't look too bad compared to the original version. The Animation Colors Red Alert doesn't look that bad compared to the original. There's not that much reduced on them. Wheeljack is just so stripped down deco-wise to look like the cartoon. Like, I feel like you're really losing out a lot on that, unless that is, like, a super specific desire you have to have that look just like the cartoon did without regard for, like, the real vehicle it was based on. It's not my style of collecting.
Yeah, well, as the one person who actually has pre-ordered this, I actually did it through Amazon Japan, so I got a bit of a discount. That's why we're showing that site. Obviously, I didn't get the first one. Would I prefer the deco of the vehicle on the first? Sure. I'm kind of banking on Repo labels to help me out there.
That would be so weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, I enjoy stickering toys, so that would be fun. But I didn't get a chance at this one, and I got it for way less than what it would have been ordered for on like BBTS or anything. So, and I can always cancel the pre-order if push comes to shove.
Well, just make sure that there's not a cutoff date for canceling, because Amazon Japan does that with some things.
There is, but it's like 7 days before it comes out. So I got a wild wait.
It's usually 7 to 28 days before the release.
Yeah, I think it says it'll be released on February 22nd. I think the cutoff was February 9th. So like 2 weeks. So I can do that. But yeah, I do have this pre-ordered. So unlike the other things, this is one I am definitely going for. And I think I'll keep it unless something, like I said, pops up. But I like the animated color windshield of it. But yeah, the deco of the first version is, I think, better. But I'll take what I can get.
I'm actually going to get it to...
You buy everything, though.
Yeah, and I want to just... I'll take my old Wheeljack and put him in vehicle mode and leave him in vehicle mode kind of in front of this new Wheeljack, the animation one, and have, him in robot mode.
Oh, you know what you should do? Buy another one of the original ones and another one of the animation ones and put each one in a mid-transformation state. And just have a display of Wheeljack transforming.
Awesome.
Yes. But yeah, I like it. And speaking of reissues or Encore editions, I don't think we've seen a lot of Encore lately, but this is Transformers Encore Big Convoy.
Well, okay, so we had Encore Godfire Convoy. There's the Encore Air Attack Optimus Primal, which is not out yet.
Oh, that's true.
The Green Unicron is an Encore release. So Encore is making a comeback. It's just in more modern stuff. I don't want to say more recent stuff, because a lot of the stuff they're tapping into here is still like almost 20 years old.
Yeah, because the last Encore thing we saw at like Toys R Us was like Starscream. Did Starscream kill the Encore line?
No, I think Fortress Maximus did that.
Yeah, I think Fortress Maximus came out last in the Encore lineup in Japan.
Yeah, I mean, and from what I understand, that's why the Grand Maximus was canceled at the e-hobby version, but that's how they got the shell for the Megatron Pretender for the last club exclusive wave. Mm-hmm. Because that had already been dug out and had been working on for the Grand Maximus version of the Fortress Maximus Encore. I think it's great. I think it's great this figure is being re-released. I mean, because it's a really, what's the word y'all used? He's shell-tastic. Is one of the words, I think. But I remember back when you could get the Sonicon sets. I mentioned this on RSC. When you could get at BotCon, you could get the Sonicon, which is the Takara's Korean partner, just as good of a quality. It wasn't no KO. It was legitimate.
And it was licensed.
It was licensed. I mean, it was most all my Brave stuff was Sonicon, because the price differences between that and the Japanese versions for the same quality were significant back in the day. Mm-hmm. But I mean, $84.99 for this, and you could get the Versus at BotCon for years for $60-$70.
Yeah, and I think we established on RFC, like if you go hunting around on eBay, you can still actually find those Versus sets for a comparable price to what the Encore is. But the Encore does have a unique deco based more on what he looked like in Beast Wars Neo. Yeah. It's there is reason to get this if you're looking for, a really polished new issue of this. But at the same time, there are other options, as there were, it might not be as financially viable to get an original Superfire Convoy and all that as it is to get the Encore one. Not that the Encore one turned out well. That's kind of a concern we need to have with all of these at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, as I mentioned, it's a shame Ultra Mammoth has gotten so expensive on the secondary market, because I think that is one of the best looking use of the mold is Ultra Mammoth. Unfortunately, he's gotten very expensive from what I've seen lately.
Yeah, I really like the Nemesis Prime version of this mold, which I have. So, like, I don't feel like I need to get another copy of this at any rate. If I didn't, I might actually consider this because it's really nice looking. On the other hand, even if I didn't have a copy of this mold to know firsthand for myself what it's like, I've seen enough pictures.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of kibble, folks. If you haven't handled this mold before, he's got a lot of kibble.
I agree.
I can pull this up.
I have Ultra Mammoth, so I would get this if I didn't have Ultra Mammoth. But having that, I don't really need this one.
I think people only really need to own one copy of Big Convoy. Like, I don't think there's really a justification for multiples.
I like it. I like how the colors, I like how it pops and everything in the pictures. I don't like it to where I'd pay $20 more than what I just paid for the masterpiece we just talked about. So I'm not saying it's not worth that price, because I've heard quite a few people say this is actually a decent price given what it is, but it isn't to me. So
yeah, that's fair. And then also on the list,
TaoBao time.
Chris changed the name for me. Dakar Transformers MP Hound Autobot. And if you go on to TaoBao, it's actually, the title is actually Takara Transformers MP Inspector Autobot. Yeah, Inspector Autobot.
And now I'm suddenly picturing Spike dressed as Penny for some reason, running around with Hound. It just, I don't know why that popped in my head. It's just one of them things.
And Ravage is like, why am I in this? I don't want to be involved.
Yeah, Ravage's brain. Ravage's. That's something that I would expect to see from the TFCC. You got Hound with maybe a trench coat, and you got Spike dressed as Penny, and you got Ravage looking like Brain. It's just.
I think it would more be that Nightbeat would be the Inspector Gadget in this, and Hound would be Brain.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But you can keep Spike as Penny. That's just
that
ridiculous.
does kind of work.
And
no,
then,
it doesn't. But I guess the absurdity is kind of the point.
We don't really know the price on this yet, but
we don't know anything about this yet. We don't even know when it's coming out.
It exists.
Well, we do have an estimated date of the second quarter of 2019, which would actually line up because you got like Wheeljack, that's February of 19, so March, April would be technically the start of the second quarter. I would assume. So this does line up time-wise with what we've seen so far, and it's hard to say. I mean, we've only seen Prime in prototype form, but I would assume he would be out before Hound, so that would probably put.
I don't know.
Prime
I don't really know that though, because they did show a full color sample of Hound at its first unveiling, and they have only shown gray scale prototype of Optimus, so Optimus could be summer.
So would you all call this the animation Hound? Because this looks more like the animation Hound to me.
I would say so.
I mean, they've been doing all animation releases, so I think the only reason we got the other ones is because that they weren't in the animated direction yet. Yeah, but now that they are.
Which means the plus version of Hound would go like Shockwave and be toy colors instead.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is that what you'd probably the darker greens and the more realistic Jeep colors? I guess kind of. So see, that's why I got Gundog, because I got the tuned version of Gundog, and I am perfectly happy with Gundog in my collection. But I do want to see if Hound brings something really unique to the table. If I swap it, it's not because I think Gundog is a bad figure. If Hound is different enough, I'll still keep Gundog just like I've kept, other things, that have come out. But I do want to see what he brings to the table. I think Gundog is almost like Downbeat. I really can't see Takara doing a better Jazz or a better Hound based on those two figures. But again, that's just me.
Well, they won't be doing better shoulders, that's for sure.
Yeah, is that just mistransformed, or is that what we're? It's so early. There's no telling if it's going to be, why his shoulders hurt.
Which one?
Hound.
Hound? His shoulders actually look okay to me.
I mean, they look fine from the up top shot there. So
yeah, it's the up top shot that I'm looking at. That I'm like, oh, they look fine.
They just look low from the front.
Yeah, I think that's mostly the fault of the fender pieces.
Yeah.
Which I'm almost wondering if those are supposed to flip back a little bit and go over top of the shoulders to tighten that up.
Yeah, because I was looking at the top shot of that, and it looks like there's a hinge, maybe, that it would do that. I'm not sure that's part of the shoulder or if it's connected to that fender, but it kind of looks like it should come back, like you said, over the shoulder blade to hide that shoulder joint right there.
Maybe.
I think if anyone's having shoulder issues, it's Prime.
Oh.
Oh, I think Prime's just, still a work in progress, and that's probably the best they could do with where he was at.
Yeah, but I'm definitely getting this. I have Gundog and Willis, which is the Fans Toys Hound. And this looks good too, and I'm gonna get it.
Diecast, someday when you realize you have too much stuff and you want to sell everything at a very deep discount, keep us in mind.
Yes. Jason, I'm sure you're gonna get this because you probably don't have a Masterpiece Hound representation.
I don't.
Probably. Or he could just get the Siege Hound though.
Oh, yeah. This is true. The Cybertronian mode.
Yeah, sure.
Air quotes.
I'll have to see official pictures. It doesn't look terrible or anything, but once I see official pictures, we'll see. And of course, is this going to be Autobot car pricing? Is it going to be a little more? How intricate is it? So we'll see.
Yeah, there's factors.
Yeah. But I'm hoping without there being the Jeep license, I can't see being a super expensive one.
Have you ever bought a Jeep?
No. Jeep. I'm saying a lot of these companies don't want to be part of the Masterpiece line because they don't want to be associated with war toys.
Yeah,
that's kind of a thing. It's a Jeep. They really can't get away from that.
Don't ever watch MASH, and you'll never know what happened. The Jeeps were involved with war.
So they really can't say, well, we don't want our toys associated with war. It's like you've been in every war since the internal combustion engine has been created. You really can't hide that.
Yeah, but I think that argument now is kind of going out the window anyway. Now that we got a G1 Volkswagen, that's going to be in a movie.
But you have to keep in mind for that instance, it's also a situation where Volkswagen kind of needs some money to dig themselves out of their hole.
Because
it may be timing, but I'm saying, where's my Masterpiece Jazz? That's all I'm saying.
Well, Jazz first, and then Cliffjumper will follow.
Yes. So
no, maybe that's what they're trying to do is they're trying to get both licenses at one time. So that way both characters are covered, and that's why it's taking so long for Jazz. I don't know. It could be sunspots. I don't know.
Could be anything.
But next up on the list, we have Transformers third party DNA DK07. And I don't know if this is necessarily new, but we finally have color shots of it. And this is the upgrade kit for Power of the Prime's Predaking. And yeah, it looks good. And they even added, they're calling it a bonus pre-order item, or a first run item. They're adding 2 little guns that kind of beef up the midsection of Predaking, and it's subtle, but boy, it helps.
Yeah, any little bit will help there.
At the same time, like the stuff they're adding here looks nice and everything. At the same time, I don't feel like I need to spend another $50 on top of $160 for a deficient Predaking to actually have something that's approaching kind of okay, but still doesn't actually fix all the problems with the individual toys that it's really putting me off of this, in addition to my issues with the combined form. In case you haven't noticed, Predaking's really not for me.
Yeah, I mean, this fixes enough of the issues for me. It gives him a sword, which I can't believe we didn't get a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive of Predaking with a sword. I really thought that was going to happen. I'm glad no one really bet on me.
We know better.
Me,
yeah, you beat me to it.
Won.
Yeah. This kind of reminds me of when TFC Toys came out with Uranos and then released the upgrade kit to make it look like Superion, versus instead of making it Superion in the first place.
Well,
that's
I mean,
totally
no, they also released Hercules and then released the Rage set to do kind of the same thing. That sort of became their deal.
Yeah, I mean, but
Hercules,
everyone's doing upgrade kits for Hasbro combining figures. So this is this was expected to come out. It's not like someone's like, it's not like Hasbro's putting out the upgrade kit. So
yeah, I mean, we'll probably still see one from Perfect Effect at some point.
I really like this one though, because it adds the hands, it adds the spikes on the hands. I think the wings are bigger.
They are.
Yeah, there's wing add-ons.
They're individually articulated. The each wing or feather, however you want to, call it, and it fills in the back gap too. So I'm getting this upgrade kit. I really like it, and I think it just ups Predaking's level to what I feel like it should have been from the beginning.
Which is kind of sad when you stop and think about it, considering how much this toy was.
Well, in the old days, we would have got a Takara version of Predaking, which would have been 25,000 yen and probably done itself, a number of fixes to the overall package. We're just not there anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure if Takara would have done this, they would have added a sword to it. Just like Fortress Maximus.
Yeah, a sword probably at the very least.
And the Predacons would have gotten their own individual swords as well,
Which this upgrade kit does.
Yeah, Predaking itself is only like a super deep discount purchase for me. Like, hello, Ollies.
I'm not even.
Yeah.
Not even.
And it would have to be because
I would rather put that deep discount money toward one of the third-party ones.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, everyone seems to love Feral Rex. But it's like even...
Oh, no, I'd probably get one of the other ones. I don't like the way Feral Rex looks.
Okay. But even, Trypticon was 50. I more like Fort Max 40 before I even consider it. So yeah.
Yeah, I would assume this would probably discount down to like 75.
Yeah, which... so I'm probably not looking to get a upgrade kit that's more than what I would pay for the toy itself. But who knows? Maybe this... Hey, there's always knockoffs and stuff too. Who knows? But yeah, Predaking was just I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I really like having the official product.
Oh yeah,
and to do upgrade kits to the official product to just
that's cool.
Up it to that next level to make it a little bit more visually what I want. I think.
Yeah, that's fine. There's
I
nothing
still
wrong with
enjoy that.
Yep.
So.
I want the initial product though itself to feel like it's something that's worth putting down some money on before I start thinking about an upgrade kit to make it better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. No, I'm really joining on the bandwagon of like the Predacon should have just been a normal combiner team, not a Titan.
Yeah.
Everything would have been better.
And we could have got our Titan Unicron.
Or Omega Supreme, or
Scorponok,
or Titan class Dinobot combiner.
just not Seacons.
Which then we'd be complaining. Well, no, see, I don't want Titan class Seacons because I want to troop build some Seacons because Master Force.
Yeah.
There you go.
But we also have, and this received a new name. We found out in pre-show. Transformers Golden Lagoon, Golden Corral MP10G Gold Limited Edition. This is the Optimus Prime from the Golden Lagoon, and it's supposed to be golden color, we think, but it came out Gold Corral.
Yeah. Oh, Gold Coral.
Yeah, Gold Coral. So
Corral has 2 R's. This only has the one.
Yeah, but when you read like me, it don't matter.
I've noticed.
Yes. I'm sorry to say, this is just.
So Rob Clay is not here to talk about this, so I will do so in his stead. When the Mobile Suits in Action Gundam action figure line was at its high point, which was basically after the US version ended, it was just Japanese only releases. There was a figure of the Strike Freedom Gundam, which was the headline Gundam for the series that was out that year. And the normal plastic of that thing had this lovely gold paint all over it. Don, you know how Bandai and their metallic paint colors are. They're beautiful metallic colors.
Yeah.
But then, everywhere there was a joint, a moving part, it was this ugly caramel mustard brown horrible
butterscotch. Not even
not even good butterscotch.
Yeah,
no.
it's like royal butterscotch. The royal brand of pudding versus say getting actual Jello butterscotch.
And obviously there is a reason for that to be. You can't paint those joint plastics because it's the same kind of unpaintable plastic in Transformers. Well, we got the same problem here for the same reasons. Some of this is nice and gold chromed, except for the parts that can't. So you got this horrible, ugly-looking mishmash, and it's just not appealing.
No,
it reminds me of if someone at Takara said, most people didn't like You're the Horse Optimus, and the guy in the back says, I can do better than that. Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. And this is the result of someone trying to do better than You're the Horse Optimus.
But what was that sound? The year the goat Soundwave? That was also,
or the Linkin Park Soundwave, which was a very similar shade to that butterscotch.
Yeah, so the year the goat one was the masterpiece, and the Linkin Park one was the G1 Soundwave. But yeah, I mean, both were kind of in the same line of thought.
Ugly.
Of just this ugly misrepresentation of the idea of gold.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I don't know why you can't have a gold colored plastic if.
Don, we've been down this road before.
I know. It's just
there tend to be issues.
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking by this point,
I will never trust gold plastic again.
Yeah, it's just you would think by this point they would have found some kind of formula they could have gold.
Okay, yeah, but the problem is they can try to reformulate it all they want to, but it takes a few years before that degradation really sets in, and one way or another whether it's surviving. So there's no way to prove without developing the new plastic formulation and then running samples of it and waiting before releasing actual products, and nobody's going to do that.
And you're right, because that reminds me of when Matty Collector released that Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. In there.
Didn't it start getting tacky and stuff?
Yeah, tacky and and even just in the box, in a collection display, the thing started just yellowing in the box. So you're right. It's just frustrating to see a great idea ruined by either crappy colors or just the limits of the technology right now of what they can do with the polymers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there is a KO that is fully gold. So not that maybe it just won't last. Maybe that's the problem, but I'll put the link in the thing. So hopefully Jason can pull it up to show what we're talking about.
Sure.
Yeah, no, 'cause I mean, like you could any kind of transformer that exists, any kind of transformer mold that exists, you totally could make every part of that out of like ABS plastic and paint it and coat it or whatever you want to do to it. But like you're gonna wear out parts are gonna break because of the stresses they're subjected to that the ABS plastic does not cope with because it's not for that purpose. Like yeah, you can make the stuff out of any material you want to get whatever like visual effect you want out of it, but you do so knowing there's a risk that the toy is going to go to pieces probably sooner rather than later.
Actually, I looking at this now, there are a couple pieces like the knee.
The knees.
Yep.
And down near the feet, there's a couple
so even
hinges
in this
that
case, they had to.
But I mean, it's not as horribly splotchy. I mean, you could pose the figure and it not be like this beacon of ugliness in the middle of your shelf.
Beacon of mustard.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
The mustard prime that you would find at, that kind of mustard that you would find at Golden Corral.
So, mustard prime, urine Magnus, earwax Soundwave. I know I've heard the Linkin Park Soundwave referred to that way.
If I was going to drop the money for that Golden Lagoon Optimus,
you might just get this knockoff.
Get this KO, or spend a little bit more and get that cell shaded version that's been done.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you're going to have something that look from the show, because the cell shaded Optimus looks a lot better than the Golden Lagoon Optimus by far. But if you like this, go for it. It's just not a visually appealing figure.
Yeah, I mean, like for my money, for my hypothetical money, like they should have just foregone the chrome on this altogether and just tried to go with gold tones in paint and plastic as close to matching as they could, rather than have a few pieces of this done in chrome that are never going to quite line up to what the rest of it looks like. That's a big part of the problem with the presentation of this. Is just so wildly mismatched from point to point. Because like even the flat color of the thighs is not the same flat color of the knees, which all of that is far removed from the shade of the chrome. It's just there's a lot of bad choices going on with this.
And I think because of the mustard gold plastic that they're using, it takes away from the gold of the chrome, and it makes it almost look like a silver chrome in some lights instead of a gold chrome.
Kinda.
A lot of this is how it's being lit.
Yeah. Now again, this is just me spitballing off the top of my head, but if they're going for a great representation of the figure from that episode, what I would have liked to have seen was, if they're going to do this, include cover pieces that would snap over the joints that, the areas in which it cannot be done in that chrome. So for a visual display, you can have all the same color. Then if you wanted to transform, again, I know it's a lot more money, but it depends on, are they trying to sell this as a toy, which they're not. They're doing it as a collector's item for the hardcore collector. And that's what I would like to have seen, is overlay parts for the two sides of the chest, the upper legs, and if you could have done something in the elbows and arms and, in other places. So that way, if he's on the shelf in robot mode, these cover parts would make it more of a uniform look, and you could always remove it to transform. Because that's what these collector figures do, is they give you covering parts, they give you overlays and stuff like that. But that's just, that's if it was me going for, say, a collector's look to make it look better in robot mode.
Yeah, I think if I was doing this, I would have just set it where like everything that can take paint would just be sprayed gold paint. It wouldn't be chrome or anything like that, because you would have a much smaller amount of non-coverage that way. This is not good.
I appreciate them doing it and trying to
I actually kind of don't.
Well, I mean, I mean, it's nice they're trying to give us collectors product, for the hardcore fans, for the dedicated fans. It's just the execution needs to be a lot better than this on any future things.
Like, the gold needs to be more yellow looking.
Yeah. Yeah,
This
the
is
gold
the
color
gold
itself
before
is
the next mold, just like we got that gold Megatron,
Oh,
Which
God.
nobody wanted that either.
Yep.
I mean, I've seen that thing as low as $79 on eBay with free shipping.
Yeah,
at one
it's still
point.
too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, I look at this knockoff diecast shared with us and the actual official one, and like, there's really no comparison between how they like affected the colors here. Whether it be chrome or gold paint, like the knockoff is in the color space that really needs to be.
Yeah. I would take the knockoff any day over.
Well,
the
yeah, because you
official.
get that for like $100 after the shipping.
Yeah, very rare that I say I would take a knockoff over the official, but
In this case, yeah.
I'd be scared to transform this thing, the knockoff.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Yeah, unless they chromed it with actual Electrum.
But really, with this figure, nobody wins.
Yeah, that's probably pretty spot on there, Don.
But yeah, did anyone get anything cool this week?
Well, we already talked about the SDCC stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I did.
Go ahead, Don.
In the past, y'all mentioned how great the DJD is and how great the Tarn figure is from Mastermind, but not reading IDW, I just had no connection to Tarn. And I had the Asterix version because I liked it as an Autobot, but again, I didn't have the connection. So as soon as the Thunderclash version was announced, I sold my Tarn Asterix. Well, you do a Machine Wars Prime version, I'm going to get it too.
Oh, neat.
I mean, I kind of wish he had that's the one thing about the Machine Wars Prime is he didn't have the Prime head, but it's cool that they're referencing that he's Prime but doesn't have the Prime head with this motif and this look. So it's really I'm looking forward to getting him open and getting him alongside of Thunder Arab. What's the name diecast of the Thunderclash version of him?
Oh, I don't know.
Calidus,
Thunderclash version.
Calidus, right?
Yeah, Colossus. Yeah. So I'm looking forward. I've only got 2 of these molds, and that's why I went ahead. That's why I have this one and that one. I found at Ross. I found a movie Hot Rod. Last Night Hot Rod. I got it originally for Chris. I thought he needed one, but I decided to go ahead and keep it because it's a nice looking figure in the box. I'm not going to see probably that many between here and who knows when the supply will dry up. And if mine breaks, at least I've got a spare for $10, so that's nice.
Sorry, you already had bought that for me, Don.
Huh?
Sorry, you'd already picked that up.
My phone was charging in the truck, and I literally thought, okay, this is the only one they've got, and I only have one Ross and one Marshalls is all I've got in my town. So I figured I better get it now, and you didn't need it, so I figured, well, I'll keep it and just keep $10 as a hot rod. I can do something with it at some point. Other than that, I've got some stuff en route. I hope to have McFan Toys' Huge Dragon, their original take on Omega. I hope to have that coming soon because I just like that little Omega, and that's about it. That's all I got anyway.
I have my Repugnance that I got from Amazon when he was available, and probably my favorite use of this mold. Grotesque is nice, but I think Repugnance pulls it off probably a little better.
I'll need to open mine.
Yeah, but and this goes back to what we were saying during the SDCC reveals and during RFC. We've got Double Cross, we've got Grotesque, we now have Repugnance, we've got Monster Bots. I think Matt said this as well. I think he was the first one to bring it up. We were getting some really unique characters, and now we're going back to Sideswipe, Optimus.
Of course, we also are getting Cog and 6 Gun.
Yeah, that's true.
We're getting a redo of Ironhide. They're trying to do an in-style Chromia, even though none of us really like it from what we've seen of it so far.
Right.
Yeah, they're playing it safe with the early releases, but I'm still going to hold a little hope there's going to be some character variety as it gets a little deeper.
Yeah,
I'm really because
basically prove me wrong, Hasbro.
Yeah. I really hope we'll get back, because it's like Matt. I think again, I'm crediting Matt because I think that's who he said it. If Power of the Primes had kept going like a regular line through the end of the year and the first of the fall, yeah, or just I would like to have seen what was
Unicron.
I would have liked to have seen what was on the table to get. I mean,
there was money on the table. They just
exactly. I mean, exactly, and they truncated the line.
Truncated.
I'm very tired. I'm sorry. They shortened the line.
You're also very Southern, Don.
Yeah, they shortened the line. I don't have an accent. You have an accent.
Allegedly.
Don, I didn't say anything about your accent. Not making illusions about your accent, making illusions about your upbringing.
I am a college graduate. Anyway, so yeah, I'm hoping. Like I said, I love the Magnus. I love that Magnus, but I want to see more. That's not what we've seen so far. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I think we can all agree with that.
And then make sure to check out RFC reviews at www.tfradio.net/reviews, where you can see my review of Bumblebee and the tapes. And if you go to T-Formers TV on YouTube, you can see Chris's review of how to unbox those, along with Throne of the Primes, Optimal Prime. It's
Optimal Optimus.
Optimal Optimus. I can never get it straight. I always get him Optimal Optimus.
Just call him
Primal
Monkey Prime. Just call him Monkey Prime. And
they're all monkeys. Just a barrel of monkeys.
I also put a couple quick photos on my Flickr page at flickr.com/ChrisRTXV of the Throne of the Primes Primal. Just one basic body shot and then a close up of the face with the crown on. That crown's really nice. It's super detailed. Got a nice detail paint on it and everything. It's really pretty looking. They did a really good job with the deco on that Optimal Optimus.
Diecast says that, and now I'm thinking of some third party making a barrel about this big, and there's scaled down versions of Optimal Optimus. It's all the different colors. It's a barrel of monkeys. And you've got small little little Legends class versions of Optimal Optimus. You got Primal Prime, Optimal Optimus. You've got maybe a Universe Colors own that mold. And it's just a barrel full of monkeys, and it's different versions of Optimal Optimus.
I'm trying to think of any way for this to actually be a practical idea, so someone would have an excuse to do it, Don. Because I love the sound of this. I love the whole explanation here. I just can't see any reason anyone would ever do it.
or maybe just do three Optimal Optimus original form, Transmetal form, Optimal Optimus form, Primal Prime, and maybe Blast Punch. So maybe colorings or variations. So basically it's a barrel full of primals, different forms and colors.
I really want this to be a thing now, Don. Damn it.
And then also make sure you check out tfradio.net/shirts. We have some really cool shirts up there for everyone who likes Transformers, up to 5X.
Personally designed by our own John DeLuna.
Personally designed.
And if you get one, you will almost be as cool as John DeLuna. None of us will be as cool as John DeLuna, but you'll be that much closer.
One step closer.
And we still live by free high fives at conventions if we see you wearing our shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. Or always. You know what? Just if you're a listener and you come up and say, hey, you probably get one anyway. We like our audience. You make all this possible by going to tfradio.net/Amazon or tfradio.net/shirts.
We will literally.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
If you don't want a shirt, you can still support us at tfradio.net/Amazon. You do all your regular Amazon shopping at no additional charge to you. Amazon just kicks back a couple pennies to us.
Almost
Or
literally.
to Ryan Kilby to try and keep the lights on.
Yeah, so, that next 56 pack of toilet paper you buy it through our link so that every time you wipe, you can think of us.
Well, they may already do that.
Probably.
Possible.
And don't forget, I have Massey, and there's still the coffin on there. The coffin was out of stock.
Yes, tfradio.net/Massey attack.
Yeah, because, that coffin was out of stock last time someone checked, but I'm sure they'll restock eventually.
Yeah, keep vigilant watch on that so that you can potentially be the one to provide for Don's eternal resting place.
And I need to apologize. I sent the tapes.
You always need to apologize.
That's true. I sent the tapes to Brian today, and something missed going in the package. So,
what was it?
That's one of the guns from the cassettes.
One of the guns from the cassettes. I did not realize that. I thought.
Is it just the one, or do you have all of the guns there?
No, it's just the one. So, sorry, Brian. But that's where our money went this week. We'll see you next time.
Everybody take care.
Bye.
This has been There Goes My Money.